What's going on? I just took a couple days off for the holiday and everything goes funky. We got a cruiser going to federal prison. We've got new prohibitions against door decorations. And there's a scenario playing out on a cruise ship right now where there are cruise passengers refusing to do something strange on a cruise ship, all in protest, all out of anger. It could be a mutiny. Yeah. Cruise news and my views. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to La Lido Loca. I'm your host, Tony, here with the latest cruise news and views for your face. For your face on Friday the 29th of November, 2024. It's Black Friday, y'all. Hopefully you got up and did some Black Friday shopping. I don't actually think that's the way we do Black Friday anymore. I did have a whole Black Friday adventure just trying to get one single solitary Lego set. Yeah, so that's what my day's been like. I don't know what your day has been like. And then I sit down to look at the cruise news and it's bonkers. Let's start with the story about the cruiser that went to federal prison over the last few days. And if that headline hits you the same way that it hit me, you may be asking, Tony, how does a cruiser get from the wheelhouse to the big house? And certainly you probably don't really have cruisers in the wheelhouse. That's where the captain is, that kind of thing, the bridge. But yeah, it's a simple story. We've talked about this a lot. When do you confront someone on a cruise ship? That's a critical decision. If somebody's mouthing off in the theater, do you shut them down? If you got kids running around, do you shut them down? If somebody's looking a little too hard at your girl, do you shut them down? At what point do you confront a stranger on a cruise ship? And well, that's what this story is about. You may remember it from earlier this year. It happened on the Carnival Magic. A gentleman named Michael Truman was in the theater of the Carnival Magic, and apparently he was being very loud and very boisterous. Loud and boisterous to the point where a concerned or annoyed or irritated other came and confronted this guy. I'm not really sure how this confrontation went, but I've been around several people that like to confront people, and I'm assuming it went something like that. Hey, why don't you shut up? We're trying to watch the show. And well, Michael Truman ingested all of that, and then he took a glass, assaulted the guy that confronted him, causing him to have wounds and stitches and lacerations. And then Michael Truman got, restrained, and eventually he got arrested and processed and pleaded guilty. And now he's been sentenced to prison. Truman was sentenced to 2.5 years in a federal prison and 50 months of anger management. And look, we've talked about this before. You kind of know how I feel about it. Certainly, I don't think the person that confronted Michael Truman deserved to be injured in the way that he was injured. But, we live in a weird time right now. I've mentioned it before. It seems like there's this interesting thing happening where more and more people feel entitled to confront strangers and to get in these arguments and to have these debates. But the reality is you just don't know, especially on a cruise ship, you just don't know that other person. You don't know their history. You don't know their proclivity to violence. You don't know a lot of things. Sometimes I'll talk about, somebody was loud in the theater, and there's always a slew of comments like, I would have gotten their face and I would have told them what for. And it's stories like this that says, if you do that, you're running the risk that you're going to run into a guy that's going to assault you like this. I think the best course of action, and this is the advice that I'm putting out there, is that if you run into a scenario that involves another cruiser on your cruise, it's probably best to go and talk to the cruise staff. Try to talk to somebody at security. If you got a beef, you even just to have a mediator in that scenario, because, at least you might not get all, jacked up like that. But no surprise, Carnival has actually banned this guy that got the prison time, and they'll continue to ban people that are violent on their cruise ships. Yeah, it's wild. It's a wild story. I don't think, the people that say I'm confronting somebody no matter what, I don't think these kind of stories are even going to matter to them. But certainly, as somebody who doesn't confront people on cruise ships, I'm holding this one up as a good reason why. Good reason why. And yeah, do the crime, do the time, man. I'm sure it was a bad decision in the moment and something that happened. Isn't it wild, though, sometimes how you can make a decision in the moment and it has little impact, or you can make a decision in the moment and it has significant impact. And a lot of times you don't know that until after you've made the decision. that can be applicable to many aspects of life. Do you think 2.5 years is enough time? Hopefully the anger management will do good for this guy, or do you think that was the right amount of sentence? Leave a comment below. Cruise news story number 2, and let's start off with some visuals. I'm going to show you 2 magnets that can be affixed to a cruise cabin door as a form of cruise cabin door decoration. One of those signs is banned, and the other one of those signs is perfectly okay. And this is in the context of Carnival Cruise Line. Here is sign number 1. Sharing is caring. And it has 3 people on it. That seems like a nice sentiment. And then door magnet number 2, it's a familiar fruit that happens to be facing upside down. Now, based on a recent policy change put forth by Carnival Cruise Line, which one of these 2 cruise magnets are banned? It's the pineapple. The pineapple. Carnival has issued some new door decoration prohibitions and, prohibition. And the prohibition is no upside down pineapples. Upside down pineapples signify the activity of swinging. I am trying to get a better handle on what the rationale is for banning door decorations of upside down pineapples. I mean, I guess, one of the ideas is that if you've got that kind of door decoration and you're advertising for that particular activity, what's to stop somebody from taking the magnet from your door and putting it on somebody else's door? It's funny though, as I've been thinking about this story, it took me back. I think it had to be the 80s where that classic song about this lifestyle came out. What was the lyric? Now, Charlotte, she's as pretty as the angels when they sing. I can't believe I'm out here on the front porch on a swing, just a swinging. I always thought it was just Charlotte and the guy that was singing the song, but maybe it was more people. Is that what that song's about? I don't know. I don't know. What do you think about this decision to prohibit this one symbol? Is it fair? Is it not fair? Leave a comment below. And incredibly, now I get to tell you about some cruisers that are so angry that they are protesting by staging a hunger strike, like refusing to eat type hunger strike. Like Gandhi had a hunger strike to, try to get Indian independence from Great Britain. We've got hunger strikes in Ireland. We have prisoners that do serious people doing serious hunger strikes. Now we got cruisers having a hunger strike on a cruise ship, which is certainly ironic. I'm gonna tell you all about that, but first, let me quickly invite you to subscribe. If you like staying up to date with everything going on in cruising, I'll give you a half off cruising because it's Black Friday. Cruising. Please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on any of these episodes. Thank you in advance. This story is super ridiculous to me. There is a fancy cruise ship where people paid like 10,000 pounds. I think it's a British story, 10,000 pounds. Expensive cruise. They're on Swan Hellenic Diana. And well, unfortunately, during this expensive 20-day cruise on the fancy cruise ship, guests were informed that they would not be going to Antarctica, which was the bucket list stop on this bucket list cruise. Why could they not go to Antarctica? Was it because of bad weather, rough seas? Was it because other acts of God? Nope. It's propeller failure, propulsion issue. I can see people's ire getting up a little bit. You hit me with a hurricane or 27,000 foot waves, I could be a little more gracious. But you're telling me that your ship's not working after I paid the $10K and now I can't go see a penguin or ride in a Zodiac? Well, obviously you're going to be mad, but what do you do with that anger? Well, 3 cruise passengers on that cruise ship decided to stage a hunger strike. They went and sat themselves in front of the main dining room and refused to leave and refused to eat until they got a full refund back of their cruise. And as of today, Friday, 2 of them have given up, which how could you not? You smell the creme brulee. Why would you sit in front of the main dining room? That's the worst place. You're like, oh, I'll smell all that good food. 2 of them have given up, but there's still 1 woman on board protesting with a hunger strike. And did you think you'd get out of this episode without me dropping the most famous hunger strike reference from my generation? Yes, the classic Eddie Vedder, Chris Cornell, R.I.P. song, Hunger Strike. I don't mind stealing bread from the mouths of decadent. Why was Eddie Vedder so brooding? I'm going hungry. Yeah. Should they force feed her? Should they give her an IV? Should they kick her off the cruise ship? Should they give her a refund? I understand her being upset, but that's extreme. I'm just going to say it. That's extreme for a Black Friday. Hope you're having a great Black Friday. That's the show. Watch the next video. See you on the Lido. Like button, subscribe. Bye. Cruise.